Y'all, we're talking about what might be the most dramatic Super Bowl halftime show ever coming up in 2025. And trust me, it's not just about the music. There's some serious drama brewing behind the scenes. So here's the piping hot scoop. SZA is officially stepping into the spotlight for the Super Bowl halftime show, but hold on to your seats because that's just the beginning. The real headline grabber? She's backing Kendrick Lamar, and if you know anything about the hip-hop world right now, you know that's like throwing gasoline on an already blazing fire. Why? Because Kendrick has been throwing some major shade at Drake lately, and there are some pretty intense rumors swirling about Drake's past with SZA.
So yesterday, Kendrick Lamar announced one of his guest performances for the Super Bowl, and it is SZA.
Let me break this down for you because it gets even juicier. SZA is confirmed as a guest performer at the 2025 Super Bowl, sharing the stage with none other than Kendrick Lamar himself. Now, if you've been following the drama, you know Kendrick and Drake have this long-running beef that's been simmering for years. We're talking serious diss tracks that have literally shaken the music industry. And get this, in one of those tracks, Kendrick made some pretty heavy allegations about Drake that had everyone's jaws on the floor.
Keeping the body in motion. Getting that wind up. You know, this field a lot bigger than what people think, so that's a must. Exactly. Now, I've been thinking about a guest performance.
But wait, because it gets even spicier. Word on the street is that Kendrick might actually perform one of those diss tracks during the halftime show. Can you imagine? In front of literally the whole world. And guess who'll be right there beside him, backing him up? That's right, Miss SZA herself. The internet is absolutely losing it over this, and honestly, I don't blame them. But let's rewind for a second because there's something you need to know. Did you know that SZA and Drake actually dated back in the day? And let me tell you, it wasn't exactly a fairy tale romance. There are some pretty serious allegations floating around about why they split up. Some people are saying Drake showed some really creepy behavior towards her, with rumors even suggesting he harassed her during their time together. I mean, can you even? And now SZA's decision to perform with Kendrick, who, mind you, has been super vocal about calling Drake out, feels way too calculated to be just a coincidence. People are speculating that this might be SZA's subtle way of finally exposing Drake for what he allegedly did to her.
A genius with a genius, Luther, 30 for 30. Like, would you and Kendrick together consider doing a joint album? Like, we would love to see.
I would love that.
Now here's where things get really interesting. In a recent Rolling Stone cover story, SZA opened up about her brief fling with Drake back in 2009. And honey, the details she spilled have everyone looking at their history with new eyes. She described their relationship as childish, saying, and I quote, "We were really young. It wasn't hot and heavy or anything. It was like youth vibes. It was so childish." But here's the thing. When we look at the timeline, something feels off. Drake first mentioned their past in his 2020 collab, Mr. Right Now, with 21 Savage, where he rapped about dating SZA back in 2008. Well, SZA quickly jumped on social media to set the record straight, clarifying it was actually 2009 and adding something that made everyone raise their eyebrows. "I just didn't want anybody thinking anything underage or creepy was happening, completely innocent lifetimes ago."
So it was this boy that I, just like a boy that I liked and I've been seeing, and we had like been kind of talking, and like I wasn't giving him any play because I liked my boyfriend.
Right. Now hold up a minute. Doesn't that sound like she was trying to tell us something? Like, why did she feel the need to clarify so quickly? Drake's seemingly innocent rhyme about dating SZA had her rushing to make sure people didn't get the wrong idea about any lines being crossed. It was giving major damage control vibes, and honestly, this might have been her dropping breadcrumbs about Drake's questionable history with young women.
It's a big deal because it was something that I like knew about already. Like, I obviously know that we talked to each other when I was a lot younger and when he was a lot younger, and like.
Speaking of which, let's talk about Drake's track record because it's concerning, to say the least. Remember that absolutely cringe-worthy concert moment where he brought a 17-year-old girl on stage? He started saying things like, "I can't go to jail yet, man," and even kissed her on the cheek. The audience was visibly uncomfortable, and clips of that moment still circulate as evidence of his sketchy behavior.
Y'all gonna have me getting carried away again. I get in trouble for not only you.
But wait, there's more. Remember the whole Millie Bobby Brown situation? When she was just 14 years old, she revealed that she and Drake were texting each other and talking about how much they missed each other. I'm sorry, but why is a grown man texting a teenage girl like that? Like, what's really going on here?
A great friend and a great role model. You know, we just texted each other the other day, and he was like, "I miss you so much." I was like, "I miss you more." About boys, he helps me. What? Yeah. He's great. He's wonderful. I love him. What's his advice with boys? You know, that stays in the text messages.
All these incidents have people seriously questioning Drake's pattern of behavior. And with Kendrick already calling him out in his diss tracks for liking them young, these accusations are starting to feel less like baseless rumors. When you add SZA's past with him into the mix, people are connecting dots they really wish they didn't have to.
This was backstage and I heard like Drake in 20, and then I was like, what? And then when I saw it, I was like, this is insane. But
Now, when the Drake and Kendrick beef started heating up, SZA probably thought she could stay out of it. But no, somehow she ended up caught in the crossfire of their drama. Drake, who was supposedly her person at one point, decided to name drop her in a leaked diss track aimed at Kendrick and his team. In push-ups, Drake went off with, "Pipsqueak piped down, you ain't in no big three. SZA got you wiped down, Travis got you wiped down, Savage got you wiped down. Like your label boy, you in the scope right now." Like, was that really necessary? While it might sound like he was complimenting SZA, he basically dragged her right into the middle of their beef, something she never asked for. But our girl SZA, she handled it like a queen. She took to Instagram stories and posted that iconic clip of Nene Leakes from the Real Housewives of Atlanta saying, "Now why am I in it? You see how I get thrown into stuff? I ain't even did nothing."
Now why am I in it? And you could have did it.
See how I get thrown into stuff? I ain't even did that.
Everyone was living for her response. And honestly, it was perfect. She addressed it without making things worse. But let's be real for a second. Why was she even mentioned? Drake calling her out felt so unnecessary, especially considering their history. If anything, it looked like he was just using her name to stir up more drama. It's no surprise SZA was annoyed about being dragged into the feud. I mean, Drake was supposed to be her guy at one point, so why would he throw her name into the mix, especially in a diss aimed at Kendrick? There was absolutely no reason for her to be mentioned, and it seemed like Drake was just trying to force her to pick sides, or even worse, use her as his pawn to get at Kendrick. But looking back now, with all the events from 2024 fresh in our minds, it's starting to feel like SZA was always leaning towards Team Kendrick. From her performances with him to her subtle jabs at Drake in interviews, the signs have always been there. Her frustration with Drake wasn't just about being mentioned in his diss track, it went deeper than that.
Okay, is Drake a good kisser?
Oh.
That's why I said fuck you in advance.
Oh, I like you. Hey, you.
I knew you were gonna do something that was so...
And speaking of deeper issues, let's talk about that spicy interview moment that had everyone talking. During her appearance on Hot Ones, SZA was asked about Drake's kissing skills. Yes, they really went there. But instead of answering, she chose to eat that super spicy wing instead. You know that's the universal sign for, "I'm not touching that topic with a 10-foot pole." She tried to play it off, laughing and saying they were so young at the time, but the way she dodged that question, her body language, was she hinting at something more serious that she's not ready to talk about yet?
Is he good kisser?
Wow. Y'all mean this?
I don't want to, it hurts.
You're a real
We were
OG.
children. We were children.
That was the sound of lies.
Now, there's been a lot of speculation about what really went down during SZA's brief relationship with Drake. Let's be honest, Drake's history with women isn't exactly stellar. He's had flings with some of the biggest names in the industry, but none of them ever seemed to last. Take Rihanna, for example. Their on and off situation was everything in the 2010s. Drake even confessed during an awards ceremony that he'd been in love with her for years. But then rumors started circulating that Drake might have crossed some boundaries with her, possibly similar to what Chris Brown allegedly did. While Rihanna's kept quiet about it, the tension between them over the years speaks volumes.
She's someone I've been in love with since I was 22 years old.
And don't even get me started on his other relationships. Serena Williams, Jorja Smith, the list goes on. From music muses to high-profile icons, Drake's been painted as this nice guy who swoops in but never sticks around. The pattern is hard to miss. Lots of women, no real commitment, and whispers of drama or discomfort once the relationships end. It's giving major nice guy energy, but not in a good way.
Horny because him and Serena have beef right now.
Wait a minute, he has beef with Serena?
Drake consistently mentions Serena. So when Kendrick came out and slammed Drake, he explicitly said, don't mention Serena.
But it gets even deeper because SZA might have been dealing with more than just personal drama. At one point, she actually claimed she suspected Drake was sabotaging her music career. While she didn't spill all the tea on exactly how, fans have theories that her struggles in the industry might be connected to their past relationship and whatever went down between them. Fast forward to 2023 and Drake and SZA finally dropped their first ever collaboration, Slime You Out. The song hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, but behind the scenes, total chaos. In an interview with WSJ Magazine, SZA revealed she wasn't happy with how the collaboration went down. She spilled that Drake used her first take of the song for the final version, even though she'd submitted updated vocals. She didn't hold back, saying she felt like Drake was trying to sabotage her. I just handed in the first draft to Drake and he's putting it on his album. I'm scared because I handed in second vocals and he didn't use that. She tried to be diplomatic, adding, I know that's not true, I literally know that's not true, but that's how bad I felt about my first draft. She admitted that when things come from an effortless place, it's hard for her to enjoy them. But the drama didn't stop there. The song's cover art caused its own controversy when Drake used an image of Halle Berry getting slimed at the 2012 Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. Without her permission, Halle was not having it and made her feelings crystal clear. She posted a cryptic message on Instagram saying, "Sometimes you have to be the bigger person even if you're a woman." When asked directly about it, she didn't hold back. Drake didn't get my permission. That's not cool. I thought better of him. In response to a comment, Halle added something that hit hard. When people you admire disappoint you, you have to be the bigger person to move on. Fans couldn't help but notice how similar this felt to SZA's own frustrations with Drake. Whether it's about their collaboration, her career, or their past relationship, there's this pattern of Drake doing things his way without considering how the women involved might feel. But here's where it gets really interesting. SZA sat down with Kendrick Lamar for Harper's Bazaar's 2024 November Voices issue, and let me tell you, they were not holding back. When discussing his diss track aimed at Drake, Kendrick got deep. He explained that while he doesn't see himself as an angry person, he believes in both love and war. I don't believe I'm an angry person, but I do believe in love and war, and I believe they both need to exist. My awareness of that allows me to react to things, but not identify with them as who I am. When they got to discussing his song, They Not Like Us, Kendrick broke it down. Not like us is the energy of who I am, the type of man I represent. This man has morals. He has values. He believes in something. He stands on something. He added, he's a man who can recognize his mistakes, not be afraid to share them, and can dig deep into fear-based ideologies or experiences to express them without feeling like he's less of a man. The way SZA vibed with Kendrick during this conversation spoke volumes. It was like she was quietly co-signing everything he was saying about standing on morals and values, especially given her history with Drake. Whether it was from her personal experience or her growing alignment with Kendrick, it became pretty clear whose side she's on in this ongoing drama.
Because we, the thousands of Drake's exes and shouties, have voted to join forces
and officially unionize as the United Kings of Austin.
It is time that we stand up and fight for our rights.
So what do you think about all this? Is SZA's decision to perform with Kendrick at the Super Bowl her way of finally picking a side in this Drake beef? Could all the tension over Slime You Out and her past with Drake be connected to what Kendrick's been saying in his diss tracks? And the big question everyone's asking, is Drake's pattern of behavior finally about to catch up with him now that people like SZA are seemingly backing up Kendrick's claims? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I am dying to hear what you think about all this drama. And don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next juicy deep dive.